Welcome to Shays Spiritual Insights. Glad everyone is here yet again. Wow. And Ivy's here. She's got her telephone, kind of a high resolution. I love it. I love the look. And Franny and Lisa and Marci, of course. And my only opening that I have, and I'm noticing the progression from what we've talked about the last couple months. And I'm going to start with the soul group. The soul group, as collectively, the Earth Soul Group, and you could say the one here in America, what I'm really seeing is it's been kind of moving in a direction and kind of shifting. Now it looks like it's really the energies are coming in and being shifted to this new direction, a tangent, you might say. And I'm not sure if that's physical events, if this is attitudinal, if this is some energetic. I tend to think that it's going to be some sort of a social and a personal awareness that manifests in the social. And of course, as all that happens, since we're all part of the soul group, I'm really seeing not only in our own lives, Deborah and I's and mine, but I'm seeing it with lots of other people. Old patterns that we've talked about before, it's more and more, it's time for them, whatever they are that need to leave, to go and move into new things that are awaiting. And that could be a shift in job, it could be a shift of activities, maybe some old relationships that are completed, fade and new ones move in. I don't know. It's hard to say because it's going to be unique for each person, but that energy and those energies, I'm going to say and make it plural, are coming in for the soul group and of course for us as well. So that's what I'd like to start with. And we've been talking about it the last 3 months, but I'm seeing it more pronounced and more crystallized now than I did last month. And that means it's becoming more and more solidified into the social group, soul group awareness and consciousness. And so usually those who that are just in the world, not on the spiritual path, what happens for them, as we've talked about before, because they're not necessarily spiritually grounded or have even a church group or whatever kind of a connection, they can find themselves kind of bounced around a bit, and you'll see it in the effects of social activity, whether it be disorder or sometimes in the positive, it can be movement towards something. But right now it looks like some of the old patterning is breaking away some more. Another level of it's happening and the new is coming in, but the new hasn't quite crystallized for them. So it's happening and we're aware of it. And I think just knowing that it's there and coming into our lives helps us flow with it much better. So with that, I will leave that alone, and I'm going to start with it feels different tonight. Just the whole feel of my screen with all of you on it. I can just feel these new energies coming in. So I'm going to start with Marci tonight. See what Marci has to say, unless you're not ready. Are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you have to share? What's going on? Questions, anything? I'd just like to start with you tonight.
Well, it's as always interesting. There's been, like new insights, more awareness, expanded, some cool stuff. Seeing more stuff that's in the whatever you want to call subconscious layers through the dreams, which is kind of interesting. But I don't pay as much attention to it anymore because I know it's all just kind of mind stuff. So I think a lot of that works itself out. But I guess mainly what I've seen is, since I asked for acceleration and heard that it would be 10 years condensed into 3 months, I'm at the end of the 3 months and I'm ready to be relieved because it has been challenging, definitely challenging.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to say anything
I
about
was just going to
that
say
or.
something. You said it was condensed into 3 months. Just so you know, it's going to go a tad longer than 3 months.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd share that with you. It's from your high self. She and some one of your
Yeah.
guides. Yeah, just thought I don't want you to be like at 3 months, like, hey, what's going on here? It's going to continue because one, you're flowing with it pretty well, and it really is um, relieving you of just old patterns and other things. I'm going to say other things. I'm going to leave it at that. Um, that are best to be, to be released so it leaves room for the new. And you
Hmm.
certainly are. Um, you've been having some new coming in, and more is awaiting. But it just seems to be this flow that you're in, and I find it interesting. You're seeking it, and that's a great thing.
Well, I don't have a choice. I mean, the we can think we have a choice, but there's not a choice.
It's part of your life path. So you could say it's a choice you made before you came. Um,
Yeah.
okay, so how we think of choice, I get it. Yeah, but but you're flowing with it, and 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 because you're flowing with it, it just really allows things to happen. You know about the two types, the two statues of Buddha we've seen, and the one is the peaceful Buddha, right? The peaceful,
Yeah.
calm, blissful Buddha. And and there's the other Buddha, which is the one with the what's the name of it, with the soul, flaming sword and things. And those talk about the two states that happen when we flow with, whether we're flowing or not flowing. If we're flowing with things and things are coming in, it's the peaceful Buddha shows up. We're flowing with it, even though that, there's bumps in the road and things are not going, perfectly smooth. We're flowing with it, growing with it, and doing the things that are for our highest good. And that's more of the vein that you're in now. When we resist, when we say, no, I'm not doing that and you can't make me, then you get the wrathful Buddha who says, okay, well, it's time. This is part of your life path. This is part of what you've chosen. And it's time for this to be separated from that. And since you're holding on to it, I will use this sword to cut it and split the two and have them fall away. And it's typically a more emotional, more hectic path doing it that way. So anyway, the reason why I shared that is actually because Buddha had me share that with you. Um, so interesting that he just showed up out of the blue like that. But that the path you're on, what you're doing is it's really serving your highest good, and there is an end to it here soon. And then it's like there's this new, like a patch of blue sky coming in and some new things. And I don't know what those are. And I don't know that you've exactly fully chosen what that is because it's not fully known yet, at the levels that it needs to be for you to make a choice. So that's yet to come. And that'll be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have like clear vision
Mm-hmm.
of where this is going. I'm still pointing towards Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's like parts that resist that, but I'm still pointing that way. And
Yeah, yeah, and it probably will stay that way. And then when this what I'm seeing, symbolically is this after this I'm seeing it kind of as this fog of energy coming in, and it's just flowing with it. And then the blue sky shows up. There'll be some elements of clarity coming in, and then you'll end up having to process those next. And that seems to be a pattern for you. You need to really, and I'm using the word process them, but really chew on them and let them soak in and let them do what they need to do, to the point to where before you can kind of be able to make a choice and have further choices, and it will help guide you to where you want to go. And I'm supposed to leave it at that, so I'm going to leave it at that. I was going
okay.
to say one more thing,
Um,
but I'm not supposed to, so I'm leaving it alone.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that reminds me of the meditation, the last one that you guys did, the gratitude,
Mm-hmm.
and so there's the replay, and I've listened to it like almost every night. I don't know why, but the cool thing is that when I go to my place of beauty, I've got the northern lights all around, and I'm in the snow with a campfire and like an igloo, and it's all northern lights, so that's like really in my field right now. And so my one son and I have actually been talking about, oh, wouldn't it be fun to go up there, take a little trip up for a couple of days and actually be in the northern lights. And so I don't know, is that anything you see anything about?
Yeah, energetically I do. I'm
Okay.
I think at
I
some
think
point,
it's like,
yeah,
oh, go ahead.
it has to do with the energies of the north, um, and the North Star, interesting. Um, and yeah, it's just those are the energies of it's a Spanish word just came in estrellas, which means stars, sky. And it's kind of where your heart is, that vastness of of the stars, the heavens, so there's energies associated with it that really call to your heart, and I'm just going to just that's about the clear as I can talk about it. That's what I really sense with you, and it really does. It's a good thing for you.
Okay.
It's helpful, and it's also in an energetic way. I'm going to say grounding in a way for you. It really helps ground you in your connection, and that's a good thing. It keeps you while when you're up there on the North Star, watching those, you're really solidly locked into them and not wandering anywhere. Just it's there, and that's like a single point of focus. It really allows you to be able to hone on that ability and grow it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can feel that. It was like, oh, maybe this is just a distraction from, the other focus. And it's like, no, it feels really good. So,
It is good for you. It is. And for reasons I don't even know. I'm sensing there's other reasons, but they're not telling me what they are. And I'm just respecting that. I'm not seeking to find out what that is. But there are deeper reasons. And I suppose when it's time for you to know it, you'll just become aware of it. It will be something that you know. Um,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, good. Well, thank you, Jeff. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. And just so you know, next month's meditation, I'll tell you what it is now. We decided to do something different. We talked about it and we're guided, and all of a sudden I was going to do this one meditation, and we'll do it at some point. But um, all of a sudden it's like, wow, we're going to do something, and it's going to be actually kind of fun, but it's also grows us, and we're going to work with the elementals, these
Oh,
fairies and the
that'll be
elementals, and we're going to
perfect.
go. It's going to be. I love doing this because anyone who talks to them and interacts with them, they're just wondrous little beings, and people don't realize all the things they do. And I'm not going to be a spoiler, so I'll leave it for the meditation. So the announcement will be coming up. Had already sent, probably, I think I already sent it out, but if you hadn't seen it, that's what it is. And in the higher guidance really wants that one to get recorded. There's a written version of it out there, but they really want this to be a meditation that people can go to. So that's what we're going to do.
Oh, that'll be beautiful. Probably be my favorite.
Oh, I kind of thought you'd like that. They wanted me to mention that because you were talking in your higher guidance. They wanted that mentioned to you. So anyway, that's why I brought it up. So
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Jeff.
you're welcome. Okay, I'm going to just continue in that vein. I'm going to go to Lisa. Hello, Lisa. What is happening? And I know always a lot, and love to hear it.
Well, actually, I wanted to say a few things to Marcy, if that was okay.
Sure, absolutely, please.
So, well, first of all, when Marcy started talking about the Northern Lights, um, it's like if you actually go there and you're with it, to me, what I was getting is it's like heaven on earth.
Mm-hmm.
magical and mystical, and that that's sort of what you're missing in your life. Um, and that kind of mm, helps you to realize that it's here too. It's not just out there, um, out in the ethers, but you can have the experience and you can create the experience right here on Earth. So I think that that's a part of helping you um, have that realization and be able to bring that more into your life. Um, what is it that you are, because I can feel you're struggling with something. So what are you struggling with the most in right now? Is it not having the
Um,
key of direction?
no, the the physical stuff has been really intense the last couple months, but the getting myself somewhere else when I didn't quite feel ready has been it. And it feels like this would be like from this point on, I can be ready.
Mm-hmm.
I I just I guess bottom line struggle with being in form. How's that?
Yeah, I think you've always had that. Wouldn't you
Yeah.
say? Because of the lifetime where we weren't so solid in form, we could kind of go in and out back in Lemuria. And so I think that's what feels like home to you. But I think the lesson here for you is that it's about, for everything to happen, it's about fully coming into the body and into that, like truly into your body and accepting all of that. And it looks to me like you feel like you had the rug pulled out from under you and you're still a little discombobulated from that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Because there's been a lot of changes, big stuff these last years. So, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so what I'm getting is you're learning to be rooted and grounded wherever you're at and to bring the Northern Lights has got that frequency of home for you. So it's about bringing home wherever you're at, which
Yeah.
is really within yourself. And
Right.
and
Right. Yeah. That's been it. That's been it.
and I believe when you allow for that to come really fully come in and allow yourself to really come in, you won't be resisting the path so much. And you'll actually be able to enjoy your life more.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds good. That sounds good. And it's easier other places. It's easier to do that. For me, it has been in Montana, in Hawaii, and here it's a little more effort. So, yeah.
Yeah, because you're dealing with more
Yeah.
energy
Yeah.
dynamics. But you
Right.
can totally, you can create that, is what I'm being told, is you can create that wherever you're at. And when you really start to allow yourself to come in versus wanting to be out of the body and somewhere else, then things will really start to come into play for you. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, I hope that helps.
And
Yeah.
thank you, Lisa, for sharing. That is wonderful.
So hopefully that made sense. I was getting kind of all these pieces and parts of it.
Yeah.
If,
Well, I think sometimes it takes a little time to process it. I know sometimes I get information, like dreams, and I don't initially know what they mean, but by the end of the day, it all comes to me, it all crystallizes. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm sure it'll just give it some time for Marcy.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, it makes perfect sense. I totally concur with everything you say. And nature's a big part of the connection for me. And that's why the places where I can be outside more, it's a lot easier.
yeah,
So, and I'm doing it here through painting, which is helping. But Yeah, thank you for all that.
Yeah, you're doing amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um, let's see, just
What's happening now with Lisa? Okay.
lots of integration. I've been going into a very deep, spacious stillness.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so that's been interesting. Very I could say life has been hmm, I've been feeling very detached and disconnected, I could say, but not in like a negative way.
Mm-hmm.
Just yeah, just detached from it all, I guess. But still interacting with it. So it's been a very different space.
Actually,
Um,
yeah, that makes sense to me. We call it unplugged, but yes, kind of,
yeah.
yeah.
Like really I would say, I've had that before, but this is, I don't know, it's a different place.
Mm-hmm.
Very different than what I've experienced. I had a very well, I've had a couple of different things happen at night in my dream time. One, I was kind of in between. I was not fully awake, but I wasn't fully asleep either.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like my whole chest, it felt like hollow all the
Mm-hmm.
way down through my body. And it felt like there was this giant vortex of energy going out the top and going all the way down through into the earth. And so I've never had that experience, but the best way I can say is I felt like my body was hollowed out through the chest area. So
Hmm.
that was interesting. And then I had this dream. I watched the movie Wicked, which is a version of The Wizard of Oz.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this dream about it to where and I woke up with just this realization of seeing how duality works, that in a way that movie really um, is a great example of duality
Mm-hmm.
and how, you have to have, it's like the whole good, evil, you have to have the enemy and you have to have the hero. And so I can't really put it into words, but it's like I could see like um that within that duality, like you always have to have an enemy, if that makes sense. There's always has to be a polar opposite of the other thing, and that's really how it works. You can't ever, so I mean, that's how humanity works. So there always has to be a bad guy and a good guy. There's no in between, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a
Anyways,
world of, yeah, it's not the center, it's the outer ring. So yeah, you have good and bad, high and low, this and that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm not, I can't really describe it in
Mhm.
words, but it was like I was seeing it very clearly. And in the movie, of course, in The Wizard of Oz, well, not the original, but in this newer
Mhm.
version of it, you know, it shows that, the person that ends up becoming the Wicked Witch of the West really was not the enemy. She was made into the enemy because she chose integrity. And so, because she chose integrity and wanting to do the right thing, she's made into the enemy.
Hmm.
So, it was very interesting to see that dynamics because in the world, that's kind of how things are shown. People are projected out to show that these people are the bad guys, but that's not necessarily the truth, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I don't know. It was very interesting. It was like I was looking in at the illusion of duality and that whole play
Mhm.
through watching the movie, and then within the dream, I saw it all very clearly of how it all operated. It's kind of like you're backstage looking at it, all the dynamics of it, kind of like that. So, anyways, I know it probably doesn't make a lot of sense to you guys, but for me, it was an interesting perspective of just seeing how it all works. So,
Yeah, and it really feels like it talked to you. I mean, it really,
hmm
yeah.
so yeah, that's kind of it.
Wow.
To me,
Wow.
Lisa, you broke through the programming, the initial programming from the beginning of time. You broke through it and you got to see it, how it was all set up so that we would be in those characters of duality with the right and the wrong, the black and the white, and all of that.
hmm
And you got the whole picture, girl.
Yeah, that's why it's hard to put it in words because when I woke up, I had the whole download of knowing it, and then I was like, oh my gosh, and but to explain it to somebody, you can't really. It's because it's more like you experience the
Yeah.
totality of something, the knowingness, like getting it all at one time. And so I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah, you're swimming in it. You're in the middle. You're experiencing it holistically, and it's
Yeah.
one of those things. It's like the, yeah, you said the dream or sometimes some event, and you say, listen, and this thing, and it sounds so simple when you talk to someone, but when you experienced it in the way you did, it's just life transforming. So yeah, yeah, makes sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, because I already knew about duality on some level, but it's almost like I got a whole different scope of it in the,
Expanded awareness of it. Yes.
yeah, yeah. It's very cool.
Wow. Is there anything else? I mean, I'm not trying to minimize something like that's pretty big, but other
Mm,
things. But I want to make sure we're not missing anything.
I think so. Just in a lot of spaciousness, the rhythm, I'm getting used to the new rhythm I'm in, which is not the constant going and doing since I released that survival architecture.
Hmm.
So it's like taking a lot more breaks, doing things in shorter sessions, and really being a lot more balanced, I would say.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still having fatigue at times when things are shifting. So,
Yeah, and there's always, I mean, it looks to me like there's still I mean, there's a lot of things going on in different parts, but um, wow, with you. I mean, yeah, yeah, there's stuff going on. I'm just gonna leave it at that because I'd have to have a private conversation to tell you about it. But anyway, um, wow. And I think it's fascinating how you talk about how you had that awareness of the duality of things, and then I could see you were immersed in it, and so um, yeah, words just can't capture it, when you try to explain it. So I understand.
no, and it's so weird that I just decided, oh, I'm gonna watch this new Wizard of Oz thing, and I didn't really. It's a musical, and sometimes I like musicals. It depends on if it's good or not. And but yeah, it was so wild to just have that in the dream, and I'm dreaming about these characters, but in the dream, I'm seeing it the whole game
Hmm.
and the roles and all of this and what we think, the big part is what we think is one way truly is not. And
Yeah,
isn't that how life is?
it is. And you think about I don't know if anyone knows about it. Kersey Bates, Miles, the Kersey Bates. There was something Briggs temperament sorter. It actually started with Kersey Bates. Kersey and Bates actually started the whole thing. Myers Briggs, I think anyway. It's a temperament sorter, and there's four different parts to it. One of the things of they test your temperament is, are you more judging, or are you more perceiving? And there's absolutes on either side. One is called absolute, everything is judged, and then there's absolute for the other one, nothing's judged, everything is perceived. But when we can operate from perception and see why the judgment is made, that gives us insights into the whole good and bad thing isn't what it seems to be. So you've been given just a wonderful immersion in that, and yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, I mean That's a real gift for you.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing. Wow. Um, let's go to Ivy. Some of the screen, when people change modes, they end up moving around on my screen here. So anyway, Ivy, so do you have anything to share or any questions or both?
Well, I have some really interesting things. So I was really happy to find out these things that, patterns, breaking these patterns, right? I recently, since I became more aware of patterns that are being broken, I recently had an old friend contact me, which is that person's intent may not be of the highest good.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, I mean, we had a really powerful sweat lodge, and he called me the next morning, and I was still with spirit. I find myself saying, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I get off the phone, and a few hours later, I'm back to earth a little bit, and I'm like, holy crap, I'm going to get sucked into this pattern all
Mm-hmm.
over. And so 2 days later, I just messaged him and said, no, I'm not going to be coming over, and, have a great day.
Mm-hmm.
So I realized it was, a pattern that I broke. And then there's some other things that have been going on where in the past I would have tried to change things and move things,
Mm-hmm.
um, or manipulate things to get things to run smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm finding that I'm just okay with allowing things to be what they are for now.
Mm-hmm.
I have suffered for a long time with fatigue and, not being able to move forward. And with the time change, I decided to go with the earth
Mm-hmm.
instead. Getting up earlier, going to the health club and swimming, because I have this connection with water.
Mm-hmm.
If it's the water, if it's the swimming, if it's exercising, or if it's getting up earlier. But now I have all kinds of energy throughout the day. So I think I have no idea. It's breaking patterns of just sitting. So I'm looking at all these patterns. How can I break these patterns? And tonight, about an hour before, I think it was 5:30 or 6, my granddaughter called and she got kicked out of a facility that she's in for mental health and addiction facility. And
Mm-hmm.
so she's stranded 100 and some odd miles away. And normally in the past, I would just get in my car and go get her. And I didn't. I said, I'll call somebody, they'll pick you up. I'm going to do my Zoom meeting at 7, and then I'll come and get you. And
Mm-hmm.
she says she can help me drive back. So for me, this whole thing has been about seeing these patterns and how I can do something differently.
Mm-hmm.
Not letting go of the things that are important to me in order to please others. I do that so much.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, kind of more holding my boundaries, I guess. Um, I don't know. Anyways, I feel a big shift is coming, and I don't know what that is. I don't know how to help her. Just give her a place to stay until she figures it out. I told her not to worry about what happened. That basically, I feel that whatever path she was going down was not the right path for her. And so Creator just stepped in and gave her a little bump and a jolt to possibly a new path is opening up for her. I don't know. Um, I don't know about letting her continue to stay with me. She's got respect, all that. It's just hasn't been healthy for her.
That's right.
It has not been healthy for her. It's not helping her move forward. It helps her move backwards because I have a very quiet home and she needs noise around her. She needs distractions. And I don't. So, um, yeah, do you see anything with that?
Well, I'm going to talk not about her, about you. You're in a period of transition. You've been ready. It's been actually started happening before you were consciously aware of it, and that's pretty common because our conscious mind is usually the last one to become aware of what's actually happening. But you have all these patterns and grounding connections, behavioral grounding points of ways you did things. And some of those are beginning to dissolve and they're happening naturally. And you're moving on into a new pattern. And again, that ties to what's happening with the soul group, but because we're all top part of the soul group, these same energies, when we're ready, are very powerfully moving into our lives and moving us on. And it can be in many ways. It can be, our behaviors, our friends, our attitudes, old connections, letting old grounding points go and new connections made. And you're having some of that happening now, and it's going to continue to happen and will probably be accelerating as you allow it to happen. So that's what you're in, and um, that's about as much as I want to get into detail about it right now. Just keep flowing with that, and that's what you're doing. And the things you're talking about, knowing what's you, what works for you, um, and what your boundaries are. Those are good things. And I was just guided to share with you. I think it came from Dr. MacKimmie, who was a healer some years ago, who's passed. He's moved on. And anyway, one of the things he used to talk about with lots of people, and I think he wanted to share with you, is how in life we're standing in our yard and we have our little fence and we have our little gate. And he says, if someone walks by and they're a wonderful person and they're open heart and they're the right person for us, you say, yes, come on in, friend. And if they're not the right person for us in our lives, for who we are, and it's not for us, you just wish them well and let them walk on by. And knowing when to do that's really important, and that's part of also what you're doing, as you shared. So that's happening right now in a big way for you. It's a big flow. And so if anyone else has anything to share, please do. But that's what your higher guidance is, and that came to me about a while ago back, and was waiting for the time to share it. And this all of a sudden, when you were talking about it, it's like, oh, this is to confirm what you already know. This is what's happening, because at many levels of your being, you're choosing it, and it's for your higher good and highest good that you keep moving on it. But it's going to have a lot of segments to it because things happen at an organic spiritual rate that keeps all the cogs flowing and everything in balance so that things don't spiral out of control. Because if they happen too fast, even though sometimes that we consciously want that, it's not for our highest good. It really does cause things to get out of skew. So I'll leave it at that. So that's what I have for you from your higher guidance. It came in your high self and your guides and angels. Does anyone else have anything to share?
Yeah, you just lost it. So when you first started talking, Ivy, you were talking about taking care of everybody else. My question to you is, why do you think that you do that? Where does it come from?
I basically am in well-being.
Mhm.
I've been clean and sober for 24 years, so I help a lot of people
Sure.
and that need to get clean and sober. And so it's part of my giving back. Part of it's giving back, and part of it is I have come to realize, and one of the things that I do, I take meetings into treatment facilities, and part of it is me making an amends for stuff that I did on
Mm, okay.
where I lived. the things that I did, brought drugs into places that, they wouldn't have received those drugs had I not brought them in. And so by helping the people that I help, it's basically repairing the damage that I may have created with some of the families and some of their families. It's kind of like, mostly I lived on the reservation, grew up on the reservation. And a lot of the people that I help today are more Native people,
Mhm.
and some of them aren't. It's just what Creator wants me to do. I figure that
Hmm.
once I have the quota or I help the people I'm supposed to help, then I'm going to be freed from that path to do whatever it is that my heart wants to do. And I
Hmm.
feel strongly about this being a part of a path that Creator wants me to do. Yeah.
Okay. Um, there's a balance. There's a balance of serving others, and there's a balance of serving yourself. And so for you, you are taking on responsibility, other people's energy, and that is not what Creator wants you to do.
Yeah. I don't take on their energy anymore.
Hmm, I would disagree. So I would say that what you're learning to do when you are taking care of other people's needs all the time and the energy, it becomes a distraction for you to take care of yourself and to stay focused on your path.
I'm on my path. I'm on the path that I'm supposed to be on right now.
Okay.
And things are flowing for you, and they're going to continue to do so. And you're going to have, and thank you, Lisa, for sharing, because I mean, everyone picks up on things that others do not. And that's always important to have these different facets of understanding and perspective so that we can have greater information to ponder. So I agree that things are flowing and they're going to continue to flow, and you're going to have increased awarenesses, and they're going to come, and I would just say, alluding to what Lisa was talking about, is to say that they're going to have some ones coming up off and on, where you're going to realize, like you said, for the one person, you said, "Oh, I'm not going." You realize that wasn't what you wanted. As the whatever the circumstance is, you'll realize, oh, this is not the boundary I want. This is and you'll become aware of it, and then at that point, you can use your guidance to, set the boundary or do what you need to do so that you can keep flowing with what you're being guided to do. So, at this point, there's just a whole bunch of stuff, energy coming in for you. So I'm just going to, at this point, it'll be processing, and I don't have, they don't want me to say anymore. So I'm going to leave it at that. But you are flowing. Does anyone else have anything to share?
I have one thing for Ivy, and Ivy knew Dr. Jim very well.
Oh, great.
Yes. And Dr. Jim just said, as after you gave her the message, that he's here for you, especially now, and
Wonderful.
he has more things to share with you, and you will tune into him in the right moments, and you will get his messages.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Pat.
Thanks, Pat.
Yeah. Yeah, I just know that was all they had for me to share, and I'm glad you brought that up. And so now it explains why he jumped in. So that's because I was like, why is he? He doesn't always show up with people who didn't know him, but you knew him, so good. Yeah. So thank you both, Lisa and Pat. That's wonderful, and thank you, Ivy, for sharing. Is there anything else before we move on for now?
No,
We'll come back around one more time.
I'm probably going to get off early and head on the road.
Okay. Well, be safe and drive safe. Be in the light.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thanks. So glad you were here.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Safe travels, Ivy. See you
Yes.
soon.
All right. We'll see you soon.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. And now we're moving on to Franny. I won't even attempt Pat because she always wants to be last. So, Franny, what do you have to share? Anything, thoughts, any questions, anything at all?
Oh, yeah. Um, I just feel like I've been doing exceptionally well. I love this long, extended fall that we've had with
Hmm.
some sunny afternoons and the larches turning color. And usually we have like snow and sudden change. Like, you flip the switch and it goes from September to December, like weather-wise, very
Yeah.
quickly. And
Yeah.
this year we've had a gradual transition. So I also, like Marci, I am happiest when I'm connected to nature, however, whatever, whether it's trees or flowers or the water. Or the animals and birds, so I've been working with my doctor to clean up my gut, and as a result of that, I'm just feeling so much healthier. And
Mm.
I'm not finished with what needs to happen, but I feel so grateful and so much better over the last few months. Like it's just remarkable to me. I'm getting better sleep. I just have these feelings of well-being. My mind is clear. I don't have the brain fog that I had every single day. I would drag myself out of bed and try to have enough energy to get through my day. And, all of that has gone away. And I'm so grateful. So I have these feelings of well-being. My physical health has improved. My mental clarity has improved. Had a meeting with my bosses, and I had dropped my work schedule during the summer, and I had suggested a salary reduction at that time. And then they wanted to meet with me at the beginning of, I think, September, maybe. Not quite sure when it was because
Mm.
the last couple months or I had a bunch of trips, so it's kind of a blur. But anyway, we met, and it was really good to talk with them, and they did do the salary adjustment. So I'm still working at less than a full-time schedule, and that feels really good to me. And I'm gradually going up a little bit. I don't know if I'll go back to full-time. Part of it's, the number of calls that we get in. I think a lot of it is the intention that I put out of, give me what's just right for me, and then that happens. So work-wise, it was a good meeting. They did the salary adjustment, and then we also discussed a possible timeline for retirement.
Mhm.
And I need a long runway. I'm not going to do it all at once,
Mhm.
but they were very receptive, and they just wanted to know what was going on. They wanted to know, what am I doing? How am I doing? How long do I want to keep doing it? What are the obstacles in my way from doing good work for them? And so I could be more open with them about some of the health issues that I've struggled with, and that felt good too. And they made it clear that they appreciate me, want me to keep working with them as long as it feels good to do so. And so that's another piece of kind of this feeling that things are coming into greater alignment and much better balance. There's a better work-life balance. So let me say one more thing, and then I'll stop and get feedback. I am going to Hot Springs this weekend. I have a work meeting Saturday morning, and then I just decided that I would go down and soak. And this is one of the mm, the best forms of self-care that I can do. I love to soak. It pulls stuff out of my body.
Mhm.
I sleep so good. Like it's just to me it's an amazing thing to go and do. So I'm going down, I'm spending the night, and I have a massage lined up. And um it just I was thinking the other day that I typically, in my sort of um with my scattered mind, I'll say it that way, it would have been like even a couple months ago, even 2 months ago, 3 months ago, it would have been typical for me to wait till Friday night to look for lodging for Saturday night. Where am I going to stay? What's available? Like all of
Mhm.
that. And the woman that I'm getting a massage from is somebody that always books 3 or 4 days in advance. So I've called her several times in the past, and she wasn't able to do massage because she books early. So I texted her and asked if she had an opening Sunday morning. And she does. And I'm like, this is remarkable. Like I can plan things in advance. Like I have not had the mental bandwidth to follow up on little details like that. And so it just feels so darn good to to have this mental clarity where I'm able to track details much better, and I've got the energy to do it again. I'm not as fatigued as I was. So I will just stop right there, and I'm open. I've got another thing, but this was the big one that wow, I am full of gratitude.
All it seems to me, just to sum it up, it's just you've been seeking this for a while, and you've been dealing with the various elements happening in your life, whether it be work or some relationships or obligations, and finally you've aligned them, or you know cleared certain things and aligned other things, that it's coming, or it's all coming together at a period where this is really doing it, and that's a good thing, because that you know, we go through these periods where all is like this. That allows us to move into the next thing, move up to the next level that we're ready to move into. And I think that's what they're doing for you, but they're kind of being silent about it right now. And I just, maybe this is just a period that many people are in, and I'm finding that with lots of people. But this is where you're at, and this is wonderful. Just enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the free flow and the wonderfulness of it. Because it's here for you for a little bit, for a while. And once you're ready to move up to the next thing, then, once we move into new things, then we get new things coming in, and then that'll be ready. You'll be ready for that. And this has to happen for that to happen. So, what I'm saying? This period, you really have needed this. And you're at a point where you're ready for it, and you're allowing it. And it's just at many levels. There's any low subconscious block or anything in that. It's just everything's it's flowing. So all I'm going to say is wonderful. Keep it up, and I'm happy, very, very happy for you. Heartfelt happiness for you that you're experiencing this. Especially when you can have the physical energy that you need, and the well-being, because it affects so many different areas of our lives. If we don't have the energy, it's such a challenge to get anything done. You know,
Mhm,
so.
mhm.
Good for you. Yes, good. So
Thank
what's your
you.
next thing?
Um, okay, not quite sure where I want to go with this. I think I'm gonna wait on this one thing. I've had a couple of river dreams, which is unusual. I was a river guide for 10 years, and it was a really important chapter of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, I've had at least two river dreams in the last week, so I was curious about that. Um, and I don't remember the details enough to share any themes, but I wondered if, because I'm feeling better
That's it.
and I have more physical energy, I feel like I'm being connected to that part of myself that was an adventurer and did a lot of adventurous things. And I had to give that up as I had these health issues going on. And so maybe the dreams are just connecting me to that part that, was on the river and really, I believe in right alignment with, mind, body, spirit. So,
Yeah, it's not so much literal as it is symbolic, emblematic, and symbolic of that you're flowing with the path and you're able to flow with the path. That's what
great.
it's about. Whatever that is that's coming up for you. Um, and and some elements can come back into your life that it may not be river rafting, but you're going to be able to engage in things perhaps that you either didn't have the time for, or the energy, or the focus to do, or some combination thereof. But that's what it's talking about. That's what I got. That's your guys are very happy, and that's what you're doing, and you're
Great.
going to be doing for
Oh,
a
wow.
while. Yeah,
That's great.
yeah,
That's
it
great.
is, and that's what they're trying to want you to know. They really want you to know
Okay.
that. Boy, oh, I want to share this other thing, but I can't. Sorry. It's a good thing. But I'll leave it at that. It's a good thing. And I'll be able to share it later, but not yet. They don't want me to share it yet. It's a good thing though. All right.
Okay.
Does anyone else,
Well,
please? Pat, Marcy, Lisa, anyone? Just got anything more to share? Any thoughts at all? Oh, you're
I
muted.
just see like a new Franny. I mean, there's
Yeah.
this light emanating from you. Not that you didn't have a beautiful light before, but it's like so much freer and more flowing. I don't know. I can't even put it in words, Franny. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, Pat.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I just want to say it's wonderful, heartfelt, wonderful that it's like just happiness for you and just keep flowing with it. And part of what you're in right now, I can share this, is that you are to experience this and share this and have this as a reminder of your natural state. Sometimes it'll be more, sometimes maybe later it'll be less, but this is, you're allowing it. And some of the things that were holding, that were part of your lower consciousness, call it baggage, whatever you want to do. That stuff has been over the time, and then you meet a couple of them here just relatively recently are going away.
Yeah.
And so, and you've let them go
Hmm.
with intention as well as you are ready. I've seen sometimes when we've talked about things in the past, you've had things come up, and this happens with all of us. We recognize it, we want to let go of it, but part of us hasn't quite ready to do so. Well, right now, you're doing it. It's doing it. And so flow with it. Enjoy this. Just swim in it. And just, again, heartfelt happiness for you. Just keep doing it because this experience, and it needs to happen for a while, well then, once that gets embedded in a number of other things that are going to happen that are associated with that I can't talk about, then you'll be ready for this. You're going to shift up to this next thing, and that's
Hmm.
part of your life path. And it's a good thing, but that's for later. And right now, you're to be in the now.
Mm,
That's what you're doing. Yeah.
wonderful. Well, I've got a question on a different matter, and
Okay.
given this context, I'm kind of curious about what you might have to say. I saw my nephew and his wife and the kids in October,
Mm-hmm.
and they're really in a bind financially. I feel like they are, there's some denial about how wobbly their finances are. And I had been encouraging him to talk to the bank, and he talked to the bank, and I had told him that I, depending on what it was, I might be willing to co-sign a loan with him, but he had to be on it, blah, 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 figure all that out. They never got to me. They looked at his stuff and said, no, we're not, we can't extend any credit to you. And then I contacted my banker here and asked her the same questions, and she got my nephew on the line and talked with him and kind of laid some things out about how the bank looks at lending. And so I feel like the process is moving him forward, like he's finally ready to bite the bullet and clean up a couple things he needs to do in his credit history, but he's also really strapped for cash. So I I want to take advantage of the opportunity to teach or coach or mentor him, because I think he's in a position to accept the influence now. Like I think he is um, worried enough or stressed enough that he will accept my advice or my guidance. Maybe I'm wrong about that. In any event, my intention is not to rescue or get in the way of his lessons. And I feel like he's bumping up against some big lessons, not just related to money, but related to self-esteem and self-worth and his role as a provider. Uh, some, a whole host of things that he's going to need to. It's, I feel like he's at the point of having a breakthrough as well as a breakdown, one of those spiritual
Hmm.
crises where things fall apart so that you can, come back together and learn and grow. Anyway, how would you guide me on how to work with him?
What I'm getting is there's caution here
Mhm.
for you. He's at a point of being ready for awareness, but he's not. And you, when you talked about the behaviors, also how his self-esteem, but also how that affects his how he thinks about things and how he does things, and how he goes about conducting himself in various endeavors, whether it be personal or professional, and that's kind of goes without saying. Um, you know, what they don't want you to do is get entangled with him financially. That's what I'm getting from your higher guidance. I'm not sure which one it is, but it's your high self. Just be careful not to allow that, because he's on the verge of it, but he still hasn't had a full, I'll say, awakening of the. There's some things hidden from him. There's some Johari's Windows 3 and 4 happening with him. You know,
Hmm.
so. Um, and he's not fully aware of it. He's ready to become aware of it, but because he's desperate, he's also going to do what he has to do. And interestingly, what they're having him do is helping him with the awareness, and you may end up. What I got was what I heard from them is, if you helped him something. I heard the word gift. I'm not sure if it's a financial gift or something like that. It might very well be to help him with it without getting tied into it. Being in the loans, and it looks like you're trying to avoid that, but he's um, that you can help him with that and help guide him with that. That gives him the wherewithal, but he's not fully aware of how he repeatedly gets himself into these situations. There are permutations on the same theme. That's what is happening to him over, and you already know that. It's the
Hmm.
same. What is it? My friend in Spain used to say, it's the same thing, only different, which is,
Hmm.
as a statement, it's an oxymoron, but it truly is how things happen. It's the same kind of event of issues and things, but in a different situation, and they manifest differently, but it's all caused from the same thing. And you are right. He is becoming aware that he's ready to become aware of it, yet he doesn't know what to do with about it. And you know how it is when we're, a drowning man isn't trying to plan for he's just trying to grab a rope, and he's trying to grab a rope.
Right.
So
Right.
if you can help him have the rope and help him give him the insights, and just say, hey, this isn't going to be if it's a gift of some sort or the other, financially or in some other way, or however it is you're guided, to understand this will be a short-term answer, and these other issues of awareness and why you got there and how to adjust them so that you start moving away from this permanently. Um, you can help him.
Hmm.
Um, and these are long-standing patterns, as we've talked about before.
Hmm.
But it looks like you're right. He's awakening to the need. He's awakening. Well, how do I say this? He's awakening to the awareness. The awareness is being opened. I guess I had the word. It's kind of I'm getting it. The communication from the angelic, from the higher mind, and now I'm trying to translate this as a word. But anyway, he's awakening to the being open to the birth of letting these things, seeing what's causing it. I'm being all wordy here, but anyway, you know what I mean. He's opening up to seeing them and being able and letting himself see them, and that's what I'm getting. But you got to be really careful not to do anything that helps him move on in that process, keeps him sustained in the physical realm, but has it so the onus is on him to continue moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a tightrope you're going to walk on this one. But it's not going to be, I think you'll have a sense of what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And your higher guidance will has it for you too. You can talk to them. They will let you know. They are telling you it's coming through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like I've been given
Excuse me.
some guidance on that. So thank you. Yeah, all of that makes sense. I really would love to see him go to a men's group or for therapy or to some type of support group, because like my older brother and I talked, and my older brother was like, Debtors Anonymous, have him look up Debtors Anonymous. They have online groups, blah blah blah. And I don't know that he would do that one, but I think he might go to a men's group if it were part of a church, where he
Yeah.
perceived that
And if
he
it's
had
presented
something
in
in
the
common.
Yeah, and if it's presented the right way, I don't mean to interrupt, but they want me, your high self wanted me to know, and you're the one who can communicate that in the right way. That's what she just
Oh,
told me. You can
okay.
present, you can give him not only what maybe guide it into, as it talking, guiding where to go, but give him the um, the perspective of how it's for his, it's how it's a win-win for him to do this. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
they just, your high self just said you're able to, and you have the connection with him. He'll listen, he'll be open, and where he can see, hey, not only is this going to help me, this is for my good, and it's a positive thing, not like a negative thing,
mm-hmm,
you know,
mm-hmm.
and that's a
Great.
big deal to him. Yeah.
Glad
Oh, go
I
ahead.
asked that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah,
You're
thank
welcome.
you.
Um, yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Yeah. It just really feels like yes. And, um, and helping him in this way can really keeps him long. He's going to have to keep the pressure's got to be kept up so that he keeps doing it. But as he keeps doing it, eventually more and more of that spark is going to light within him to where he sees not only where he can let go of old patterns, but he can see the real benefit and um, the light of a path of going this other way. You know,
Mhm.
you know. Boy, you really do have an enormous influence with him.
Mhm.
Do you know that?
Well, I certainly was feeling it on this last visit.
Yeah.
I certainly was feeling that um, he's more open than he has been, maybe, or the timing is right. There's something that, yeah, I definitely could feel it. I think part of it too is that his dad is gone,
Yeah.
so, and his mom hasn't ever really um, been one to help in um, any sort of uh, pragmatic way. He hasn't had good parenting from either parent. So it's remarkable that he has, you know, has, I think, done what he's done so far.
I want to just share this. I'm not trying to belabor a point, but just the divine and your high self really want you to know this. Even when he was rejecting or maybe not, it felt like he was not hearing what you said, your communications really really connected with him at the inner level, and it just and it slowly permeates, and then it's over time it's been like a slow rising bread yeast that was really a slow acting yeast, but it's allowed him, even when it didn't seem like he's listening, he was, and you had an inner connection with him. You could bypass all the filters, and and that stuff got in there. Not that he was going to consciously deal with it. He still was going to block that. But eventually, over time, that's brought him to where he's at. And that's the path they want you to help him keep continuing to go, where you're encouraging him to do what you need to do. Help him as you can without taking on, rescuing him or taking on his stuff. And you, anyway, your guides and your high self really feel like you're able to do that, and they're going to continue to help you doing that. So, yeah. Anyway,
It's
I'm
very
just,
helpful.
yeah, boy, it really touched my heart. I didn't till now. I hadn't seen how you had what the things that you were able to say were able to get to his inner core, even when he didn't know it, and that's been a really powerful thing for him to help him, even though I don't think it will be a long time before he'll be able to look back and say, wow, there may come a point in his life where he recognizes that, but it's going to be a while to realize how much, and that was one of the agreements, by the way, you had before you came, was that you were going to help.
Wow.
Yes, I just got that.
Ooh,
Yeah, you felt it, didn't you? Yeah.
yeah, but it makes sense. Makes
Yeah,
perfect sense.
you,
Makes
yeah.
so much sense.
Okay, well, let's leave it at that. Just keep doing. You're doing it. You're walking it. You know, you're walking the fire path. I'm thinking of the Indian when they walk the fire path where you have to do it and without getting burned. And I'm seeing that you're doing it, helping without getting caught in it. As you know. Anything else?
No, thank you so much. That
Oh,
just
you are.
really, it, it helps bring some clarity. So I appreciate that.
Wow. Well, I'm gonna be processing that for a while, that relationship. That seems to be really, oh, there's something for me to be aware of in that. So I'm gonna thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Does anyone else have anything to say before we move on to Pat? All right, Pat. Hello there. How are you?
Hi, I'm pretty good, pretty good. Before I say anything about what I've been working on a little bit, some of you know about John's encounter with the Buddha at the top of our stairs, and I didn't ask his permission about this, but I think it's okay. Since Buddha was a part of this dynamic tonight, I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to ask because what came to me as things were progressing tonight is, oh, Buddha. Okay, so it wasn't just John's head and Buddha's head met, and then John had to have stitches when he fell on Buddha. He had Chris had to take him to the ER, so to speak. So I wondered tonight, since Buddha's already here, if he had some message for John, possibly about that encounter.
Yeah, funny you say that because I knew that actually right after I was told about it. I
Okay.
don't know why. So, I call it a K. K used to say, yeah, I got that 6 months ago. I've been meaning to tell you. I was like, why couldn't you have told me in the last 6 months and we've talked 10 times or something, but it's one of those things that happens when we're supposed to. So yeah, there is. And it's a little bit, it's not quite, it's kind of a little bit like, but I remember we talked about, I'm trying to remember the name of Lisa probably knows the name of the fiery Buddha with the sword. Anyway, but that is kind of a sword event, and it's just believe it or not, that's a mild one, because the essence of John is the inner peaceful, and the tree that's just the you don't know what's going on, is that the like a still lake kind of a thing. Anyway, yeah, that's Buddha connecting with him to connect with his inner essence, and there's some work that he wants to do. And I think John can get it if you ask him. He doesn't want to tell me, unless someone else is getting it. Maybe it'll come to someone else, but Lisa or Franny, if anyone gets it. But yeah, that's what that was about. It's kind of, and not kind of, it's veiled. I'm going to use not hidden. I'm going to use the word hidden. It's not hidden. It's veiled from us. It's available to John. And if he asks and does that, then once he does that, I think then if we want to ask more will come through. But it's really important that John do the initial seeking and asking for what it is that Buddha has for him. It's really important. And Buddha's waiting. Patiently, actually. So,
Pat,
go ahead.
Pat,
Uh-huh.
can you hear me?
Yes, we can
What-
hear you.
What I hear is for John to wake up.
That's what Buddha means, one who woke up.
Yeah, and that's what I'm hearing is he's telling, that message is wake up.
Oh, wait. Yes, yes, and yes, thank you, Marci. That is true, is wake up. But there's a whole content that goes along with the waking up. So, thank you. That's,
Very interesting. Thank you.
yeah. Yeah, and it'll come to John I'm going to call it the John way. He gets things kind of we all get them in our own way, but John's kind of unique. He's like a couple other people I've known. They have this inner essence that's just amazing, but others wouldn't know it who didn't know them, who really didn't know them well. And you know him well. So
He's listening.
thank you, Marci.
He's part of it. He's downstairs listening.
You're good. It's wake up. And yeah, and that's what Buddha means, one who woke up. I basically roughly translated. Recognized his Christhood and lived from it. If you will.
Beautifully said.
Yep.
So with me,
Yep.
I have been working with my field or my light body, whichever you choose to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And also realizing that when I can really feel it now sometimes, and it's so unbelievable when I can feel that integration. And of course, then we have to come and interact with our physical selves as we are dropping away these old programs, and the programs and the connections with the programs. I think they're, let's see, I don't want to use words like hard, but when they're happening, they're so intense is the word.
Mm-hmm.
And then you sort of lose touch again in that moment with the field or the light body.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where I've been at lately. At night when I do all my stuff, then it's very easy to incorporate it and work with it and like just feel it. And then during the day when the outer world is interacting with me, whatever and whomever that may be, it's like, whoa, what's going on here?
That's normal, right? I mean, that's it's kind of like when you do in algebra, when you do the odd problem where the answer's in the back of the book, that one was easy, but with the even problems where the answer's not in the back of the book, it's like that one's harder, but it's kind of the same problem. And it has to do with you work on it, we integrate some stuff, and then we go in the world and we practice it. And we learn how to be that, yet be able to interact with others through it, and we do it kind of like threads at a time, and that's what's happening with you. I'm going to share it that way. And so it grows and grows, and we do it. And sometimes one area diminishes while they work on another, and then the other one comes in, and that sort of thing. But it's just happening in the way that's right for you. So, yeah, it's I think it's fine, but it's challenging.
It is challenging.
It is, because just about
it
the
feels
time we
so
think
good when you're in it, right?
Yeah. Well, I have that too. I mean, I'm at work, and I'm doing things, and it's like that's my thing. My whole day at work is like just staying centered. People don't know it. That's what I'm doing, and then all of a sudden somebody will come along and maybe the night before I felt like this new thing got cleared, and I'm ready for this next thing, and then who shows up? someone to test me on that next thing. So that's what happens to us, but it helps us grow. So that's the beauty of it.
Right. Well, thank you so much. I just wanted to give a brief
Oh, thank
summary
you.
here.
Yeah. Well,
Thanks, everybody.
excuse me. Um, I've been we all have a thing, and I know better, just so you know, but I've become increasingly sensitive to dairy, and that doesn't stop me from eating it though. Cheese and occasionally ice cream. So I this is the effect I have after I have partaken, I don't know, whatever the verb conjugation is, but after I've you know had myself some cheese or ice cream, it's like then it sticks with me longer and longer. So I know eventually it'll be one of those things. My low self's just going to have to let it go, and we'll have to replace it with something more in the higher realm. Anyway, so excuse me for my coughing here. So, well, thank you, Pat. Wow. I really feel like this night is an example of these new energies coming in, and I'm seeing them, and they're really high. And I'm going to call them. I'm going to kind of describe them from their how they're coming. These tangent energies are coming in. They look like they're coming from a tangent, but they're really moving us in this higher direction, in this or new direction, both sometimes higher and new. Obviously, we're moving not only upwards, but we're moving into some other slight course correction and expanding what we're doing, or sometimes shifting what we're doing for a time, so we become more well-rounded we're ready for that expansion that's coming. So I'm seeing that with so much with everyone, and I just know it's coming in, and I'm seeing it. Um, and I'm seeing that as like with Ivy, with all the things that are happening, that are the times we're in, um, they're perfect. The high energies. I don't know if I shared this before, and this has become recently into my awareness, and I don't know when this is going to happen. I'm going to quote Kay on this. It's hard on the inner levels when you get information to know how that translates to the timeline, to the earthly plane. But we're in this period of this spiritual renaissance, as I call it, where this energy is coming in. This period is going to come to a completion. I want to call it completion. Stability. It's going to come into stability, what they call in process improvement, they call it process stability, where it's all we've risen to the height we knew, the high energies are there, and then the rest of the world can get caught up. All the spiritual light workers have been bringing and anchoring this light, making it possible for all of this to help it come in, and now it's going to stabilize. And it looks like that's going to happen. This plateau, where it's going to be that way for a while, is about 2035 to 2042, and somewhere in there. And I'm kind of guessing because I don't know timelines, and it could shift, and it could be longer, it could be shorter, who knows. But I'm supposed to mention that at some point. Before I wasn't supposed to mention it. Now I'm supposed to mention it. That this time we're in is just such a glorious time for our growth and capabilities for things that we are doing in sometimes weeks and months, what used to take us years and possibly a lifetime. Just so accelerated. June talked about it. Dr. MacKimmie talked about it. That's what we're in. And just to know that we're in it, and to just keep taking advantage of everything we can do. What my guides told me, that was very simple things. They told me both for worldly things and spiritual things. Do what you can when you can. When the moment arrives and you can do it, even when we don't want to do it anyway. Make it Nike, take advantage of it right then. And that seems to be, I know in my own life, serving me well. That's the higher guidance from the divine and my guides and Jesus for the whole entourage. And they wanted this shared with you about this plateauing that's going to be coming in. It's finally going to hit the point where all of the elements that need to be there for the general part are going to be there. It's not like it's going to completely plateau. It'll still keep moving up, but not at the rate like it has been. And that is to give the rest of humanity a chance to start integrating and moving into this. And then that's going to move into the next cycle of things that'll be happening. So anyway, thought I'd share that. And if there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer what I know, but that's what I know right now.
I wanted to add something, Jeff, because that's really interesting. So this channeling session that I heard over a year ago, Jeffrey from the Crimson Circle is channeling the future human in 2044.
Mm-hmm.
And what that person named Jamie was saying was that around 2033, 35 is when the big shift happened. And it wasn't like some cataclysmic thing in the outer world. It was like people just woke up different and they started to see things different and it changed their consciousness. And Jamie talked as if we went through like what do you call that? I can't think of it. It's like what do they call that? The photon belt.
Yeah.
We, kind of went through a photon belt and then it just shifted everything. So I think that's interesting that that kind of coincides with that same timeline.
And that's exactly what it's about. All the energies are going to be there for the masses of humanity who've been soaking in this stuff for a while. And it's finally going to be there long enough to where it starts, slowly starts crystallizing, and then things will start happening on the social level. Because, I forgot who the guy who used to talk about it, Navy used it a lot. When you talk about individual change can happen at a certain speed, then changes within a small nuclear group like a family happens a little slower than the social, the town, I'll make up something, the town group, that social structure, it happens a little slower, and then out and out and out. Because it takes a while for that to go out, and that's exactly what's happening. And now's the time. And 2035 was the time that I got. It could be a little sooner, as you said, could be a little later, and it's not going to happen all at once. The group will move into it, but you're going to see a social change. And it's going to be in awareness and awakening, although who knows exactly how that's going to manifest. But you're right, that is what's happening. And they want everyone to know about it, especially the people who are on, I call it the committed spiritual path, which is we all are, and others that aren't here. They really are encouraging the Christ, the divine. Don't try to make things happen that can't happen, but just when things avail themselves and you're guided to do it, do it. Do what you can when you can. Don't wait. So that's it.
So does that mean we're going to stay on this steep trajectory of accelerated energies coming in until the big shift happens?
Yeah, it
And then
looks
it
that way.
begins to stabilize?
Yes, and there's going to be some continuing new ones. And it's going, by the way, the new ones and the differentness of the new ones. I don't even know how to describe it. Maybe Lisa's really eloquent in talking about these things. I like that. There's a whole new thread of them coming, and they're coming in right now, the beginnings of them. That's why the tangent's happening. And there's all kinds of threads, all kinds of different, I'm going to call them, it's overly used, but I'm going to use it anyway, kind of loosely. It's archetypal new energies coming in, because we had to have all these other things happen so that these could come in. All this other stuff had to happen for us individually as all the light workers bringing things in, and to bring the soul group where they are, to where we are now, they can allow it in, where it's ready to come in, and it is coming in. We're on the front end of it. It's been in a couple months, but we've been talking about it, but it's going to start coming in a lot more pronounced. So the answer is yes. And then thereafter, for those who are on let's call them the committed spiritual path, they're still going to have access to new energies that will be coming in for them that aren't necessarily part of this thing that's been happening, but it's going to plateau as far as this spiritual renaissance, just as the Renaissance had an ending. And then we moved into the integrating of that and mankind and humankind moving on in that. In the arts and sciences that were created during the Renaissance, all the spiritual growth and the awareness and the awakenings and all the immersions that are happening at many levels that people don't even know about, that's going to plateau, and then it's going to allow it to manifest. It's going to be they'll be ready to do more doing. You'll start seeing it happen. And it's going to show up in many different ways in human, in the soul group and in societies, and it'll be interesting and exciting to see. Yeah. So, any other questions on that before I move on? And there's more to come, but they don't want to. I know they got more for me to know. They're going to more. They are going to tell me more, but they don't want it to be known yet. Probably because, as I've said before, I'll blab. So they know not to tell me now. So it's wise of them not to do so. Anyway. Sometimes it slips out. So anyway, with that, let's just go around and then just any last thoughts, questions, anything at all. And I'm going to start back with Marci again. Marci, any last thoughts, things, anything at all?
Well, what you were just talking about when you said the archetypal energies coming in, it felt like a string being plucked in my heart when you said that. I thought that was interesting.
That's because you're having some of that and you're doing it. Um,
Yeah.
just keep flowing. You're doing it.
I love that you mentioned Jim in this call several times. I've got his book, and I've been, with all the physical stuff, I just keep referring back to his book and remembering the blue light that was around him when he worked on me one time and working with that energy. So I'm really glad that he got mentioned in this call.
Yeah. And by the way, he just said, you mentioned the blue light. I'm glad you did. He wants you to imagine, you bring it in. It's there for you.
Good. Yeah, it was really really effective one of the times when I worked with it. So yeah, I'll keep doing that.
Yeah, he said you're ready for it, and he'll be there for you. He's still working with lots and lots of people. He worked with a huge number at first, and it's now dwindled down to I won't say smaller. Relative to the original group, it's smaller. It's still dozens and dozens and dozens of people, maybe over hundreds, of people that he's working with. But he's still doing some work, and he's there for you. That's what he just said.
Good. I didn't know if he was training me or working on me.
He's working with you, and you could call it training. He's helping you absorb the things that help you become aware so that you can do things yourself.
Okay.
He's helping you help yourself.
Okay. Good. Thank you, everybody. Beautiful call.
Yeah, thank you. All right, Lisa, any last thoughts, questions, anything at all? Love to hear it.
I just want to say thank you, everyone, and it's so good to see everyone tonight. And yeah, it's just been a really great time together. So thank you.
Oh, well, I'm always glad everyone's here. And I do want to give you, I really want to, I've always talk about it kind of third party or whatever. I really want you to know that you have a real ability, Lisa, and to be able to share things in a succinct way that are easily for people to process and understand. And I think that's such a wonderful innate skill that you have, and you probably worked on it and developed it as well. But it's so helpful, and I really appreciate it especially when you share in the sessions. You can share things in a way that make more sense. I'm kind of a spiritual physicist. I know that about myself, which is wonderful for learning things, but it's not so good for explaining them. So anyway, thank you for all the sharing and just your ability to just share in a way that really helps people. So thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah. Franny, any last thoughts? Anything at all?
I'll just echo the comments. Just a beautiful call tonight, and
Yeah.
so wonderful to be here with everybody. And I understand that tonight is another good viewing night for Northern Lights.
Yeah.
If anybody's in a place where they can see them. Of course, we also have we're just past the full moon, so the sky's going to be kind of light. But in any event, Northern Lights might be visible again
Well, that
tonight.
would be wonderful. Thank you. Eventually, I'm going to Alaska and I'm going to see them myself, but haven't done that yet. So, thank you. All right, Pat, any last thoughts, questions, anything at all?
Yeah, they say if you dance under those northern lights, you'll get all kinds of healings. The native people went all the way up there from all the states like Wyoming, North Dakota, Montana. So pretty cool. So yeah, Marci, we may lose Marci if she goes up there.
Yeah.
Oh, I
She'll be
thank
absorbed
everybody.
into the
Yeah,
northern, yeah.
I want to thank everybody for being here. And also, gosh, I got Dr. Jim saying that he's working at this time very closely with our small spiritual family, as well as all the others that he's working with. So, what a blessing.
Absolutely. And the fact that he's still doing it, we're all, we're grateful and benefactors of his good graces. So, yes.
Yeah, I don't get to talk to him. Get to talk to Kay, but not to him. So nice that he's coming in closer for us.
Yeah, yeah, it is. And he made it a point to be here tonight. So that's interesting. I mean, I know it wasn't just some casual thing. He was intending he was going to be here. His presence was required and is required. So it's grateful for that.
Yeah, he wants us to feel him.
Yeah.
Okay.
We feel him.
Well, thank you. And I just want to share one more thing about the Northern Lights. One of the things I get about them is, and I've seen them before, there's a special energies that come in from that. It just really is. And it's just wonderful. Spiritual energies. Just like Peter Navarro used to talk about it, and none of you here knew Peter. He was June's housemate, but she was a spiritual master. And he talked about the spiritual energies coming from the sun. And there's actual meditations and works and that things we can do and when we're ready to connect with the sun in that way. And at some point if we're ready, we may do that as a meditation. Just right now they've told me no. So, but all these heavenly bodies and these energies, there's so much, not only physical, the regular light that we see, but just the spiritual, as you all know, the spiritual energies that come in with it. So anyway, well, I suppose we probably should say good night and until next time. So as always, blessings, light, and love to all of you until we see you again. And hopefully some of you I'll see at the sound shower on Saturday.
Yes. And tell Deborah we love her.
We will. I will. Well, anyway, blessings and light, and see you next
Everyone.
time. Bye-bye.
Hi,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.
Good to see you.
Bye.
Love
Love to
ya.
everyone.